I mean, just worry. The only thing you can worry about is yourself, and make sure that you're doing the proper things to get ready.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Got the Fan Show guys here with me. Gentlemen, favorite part of the show. We'll start off with Roy.
Oh, Jim Turner.
Did you actually hear it?
Yes, okay. I watched that, and it's like I'm a football geek about a lot of things, and I am going to have to pick another sport because apparently I don't know anything about
That's
football.
That's what I felt like, yeah.
I felt like it's the first time I've ever seen offensive line blocking schemes.
Am I learning French here? Is that what I'm doing?
I absolutely loved the breakdown. Huge fan of that.
Hunter?
I thought McGee was solid today.
He was, wasn't
he? He watches a lot of film.
He knows his stuff.
Listening to McGee and Swope and Bronny out in the waiting room argue. Really, McGee and Swope were arguing about something.
Bronny had to chime in.
Yeah, yeah.
That's about how that played out.
Pretty much. That's pretty much how that played out. That's how it played out.
Bronny's like, actually.
Hey, Juan, tell us exactly what is on the rewind.
So we've got former offensive line coach Jim Turner. We got Stephen McGee and Ryan Swope, Aaron Torres of Fox Sports, and The Fan Show.
These guys.
I would say going into this game, right, like when we run the football, when the Aggies run the ball, you're going to see them run all of those schemes. But I would imagine, right, with all that stoutness inside, they're going to play two fronts. The Gators are going to play two fronts. They'll play a 3-down front, and they'll play a 4-down front. If they're in a 3-down front, it's a little bit different than I just said. In a 4-down front on defense, each one of the defensive linemen and linebackers is responsible for a gap. And they've got to stay in that gap, okay, to make that defense work. And then basically everybody plugs up the gap, and they force the ball to bounce out to the tacklers. In a 3-down defense, when you see that big 21 in there at 450, okay, he's a 2-gap player. And when he's a 2-gap player, he's playing right on the center. When you see him, he's going to extend on the center, and then if the ball goes this way, they tell him he's either the A-gap player play side or the A-gap player backside. And then the linebacker fills in for the other gap. Other than that, they're all rushing up the field. So they all have primary gaps if it's 3 down, and then they have a secondary gap if it's 3 down. Great, let's just pass protection right here. So here's the Aggies. Here's your situation right here, right? So it's 1st and 10, okay? We're on the 15-yard line. They're going to throw the football right now. Okay, so this is a 4-down front. So the center would come up right now. He'd call 4 down. Just remember this. Everything adds up to 5, right? You got 5 old linemen. Okay, so it's going to add up to 5. He would say 4 down. Okay, we're blocking the 4 down. He's going to point at that player right here. So this would be 3-jet protection, they would call. I don't know exactly what they call it, but that's the general call. 3-jet. The running back is on that player to any other player other than the point. So right now, right, that's basic for it. 4 down, we're going to that player right here. They do a great job with pass protection right here. They get targeted correctly. The back comes across, and he ends up blocking the nickel coming off the edge of the safety here. Go back one more time for me, and you can see when you give the guy time to throw, this is a heck of a football player right here. I know he struggled in the first game, okay, but the bottom line is if you watch his performance throughout his time here, he is a phenomenal player. And the way that I look at that for him is, okay, anytime I watch a football game, if every time that player steps on the field, I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen right now. You're excited about it. That's that kid right there. He's a heck of a player.
Does Bussy give you, I don't know if Anias vibes is the right word, but something that you can give him the ball and great things can happen, Ryan?
Yeah. I think he's an explosive player. Let's find a way to get that guy the football in some space, whether that's bubble screens. Obviously he's on all the return games, punt return, kick return. Hell, let's hand him the football. I think he's still working on his hands and just getting comfortable with the offense. But if we can just try and get that guy the ball in some space, I think he's going to be a difference maker for us for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The question, he's been on offense for 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
And so he's got to learn the system. They're probably just trying to give him little bits and pieces. But is he a running back? Is he a wide receiver? I don't think we really know. But
like Anias, right? He can do a little bit of everything.
Anias can do everything. But I think he was, obviously he's a receiver first.
Yeah.
But he has the ability to go in the backfield. He's maybe the same will hopefully be true for Bussy. And then Barber, I think we talked a little bit in the earlier set. Like I haven't really seen anything. Like I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure he's got something there. And hopefully he's healthy enough and can start getting back in shape. And this other part that people often forget is if you've been sidelined with an injury, you're probably not full go from a conditioning perspective too. So getting reps.
And also, you're not completely confident where your injury was, right? Like Connor, it takes some games to get there, right?
For sure.
I remember I separated my shoulder my senior year, and that first hit, you're like, you're kind of turning away from it. And then we were actually laughing with Coach Turner earlier. It's the exact same no backs protection and cover zero. They're double A gapping us, and we don't squeeze. We do the double bump, and we didn't bump either one. And here comes separated shoulder number 2. Yeah. I'll tell you what, coming after that second separated shoulder, now all of a sudden you're like, man, if I just play football, I'm going to separate this thing immediately. So there's definitely the mental aspect to getting over an injury. But I think once you get a couple hits in, I think the competitive juices come out and you're ready to party.
Well, how are we feeling about this weekend?
I actually feel really good about it, but there's a little lump in my throat of what if it doesn't go right? Because look, to me, Aaron, A&M should and has to win this game. There's no could. They should and have to. Not if they lose, is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. It would be potentially the end of the world for Billy Napier if Florida loses. But you've got a lot of guys injured over there. You have a dual quarterback situation. You've got an A&M team that has not won on the road since Missouri 2021, right? You've got better talent, in my opinion. You've got the better quarterback, in my opinion. And I know Lagway's going to be great, but as of today, I still think I'm not going to allow the Notre Dame game for me to look at as the only way I look at Connor Wigman. I'm going to look at the totality of his work. I think you have a better offensive line. I think you have a better defense. So yes, A&M has to and should win this game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just curious for the local perspective because, you and I have talked about this all, not just this summer and spring and fall and whatever, but previous years is like, just talking to A&M fans that I know, guys, they're tired of guys like me outside of the bubble, hyping this team and getting excited. And so I am personally with you. This is a game that they should win. But, listen, we you mentioned the road struggles, and that's the only thing that gives me hesitation. You've struggled on the road historically. Eventually you're obviously going to break that streak. But, one way or the other, it's going to be a little on the nose in terms of the result. Either, oh, man, here we go. A&M takes another loss that they shouldn't on the road. Or, oh, there goes Billy Napier taking a loss where he couldn't decide on the quarterback. Fans hate him. So it's a very interesting matchup. First of all, just my personal opinion, I am with you. I think A&M has the better roster top to bottom. I think they have the less confusing quarterback situation. But, we don't have a very good track record in recent years of A&M actually winning this game. But again, that's part of the reason why you went out and got Mike Elko, to get you over little humps like this and then hopefully big humps here in the future.
Right. Let's just play this out. A&M wins convincingly. Connor throws for 310, 3 touchdowns. And it's everything that we thought, like the good things about A&M that we thought were possible. Let's say in this game, that happens. And I know there will be many that'll be like, it's just Florida. They're terrible. But just for next week, how are we reacting under that scenario? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to do the opposite scenario. But for right now, let's be happy.
Let's do the sunshine pumping first, right?
Do the sunshine pumping. Roy, you start us off.
You go into Florida, you win convincingly on the road. And
Connor throws for 300 and 3 touchdowns.
And all these things happen, right? Yep. And we win convincingly, and we look good doing it, right? So offensive line obviously did their job. Receivers did a great job if he's throwing for that many, right?
Yep.
The run game was probably really good to set up that kind of passing. The defense, if you win convincingly, that means the defense keeps their offense, in check to whatever extent. If you go out and win 55-20, you gave it 20 points, but that's a convincing win, right? I'm not saying 55-20, by the way, but
just for this scenario.
But you're saying winning convincingly, so 10, 14, 17 points, somewhere in there. Then I think you automatically switch to, all right, we're not going to lose a game until Missouri, right? Missouri will be our next big test because that's what you're looking at because you have no idea what to get out of Arkansas. What they did against Pine Bluff is ridiculous, even though it was basically a high school. I think Oklahoma State's a tough place to play. I thought I picked Oklahoma State to win that game, so that kind of went, But you feel like you can beat Arkansas. Yep. So again, you go and win convincingly, then that Missouri showdown is big, like big.
Yeah, and under your scenario, if Wigman comes out hot, right, then it's definitely. Hey, man, that was a one-off. There's no history of Connor having bad games like that. He's back on track. Offense is clicking. It's huge for the fan base, for that team, right? Because they still got to learn how to win. which they've really been really bad at for 3 years.
Well, and you have the data point then, because then
Yeah.
you're like, well, you know, we're not the Notre Dame game team. We're the Florida game team. You know, that's who A&M is.
Yeah.
And so you have that confidence because not only did you convincingly beat an SEC team, you did it on the road.
On the road.
Yeah, and then if to me we become scary again, right? Everyone outside of Burnt Orange, you know, who will go, oh, it was just Florida, they suck, because that's what they do, because they're
There'll be people
morons.
on TexAgs that say that too, though.
Yeah, but either way, but I mean, for the most part, though, most people still will see you go, hey, that's the swamp. You just went into the swamp. You haven't won a road game in forever. This is Elko's new regime. You just went into the swamp. You just beat a blue blood thoroughly. Your quarterback looks right again. A&M is scary again, and that'll be kind of not only the national perception will look even better. Although who cares?
Right.
But the national perception will look a lot better. But yeah, us as just a fan base that feels fantastic. And then we're all going back to, hey, remember when we lost to Notre Dame and we were so upset? Look at what it is now,
Yeah.
right? That would be what would happen. That's how this fan base would roll.
Close it out? Who's going to close it out? What do you think? Shirtliff. Not shirtless, but shirtliff.
All right.
Well, quite the nice shirt. As a
That
matter
shirt
of
is
fact.
fantastic.
You know, real quick on the Jim Turner thing.
Yeah.
One thing that I picked up that he said we a lot. When he
I
was
like
talking.
that.
I liked that.
Team us.
Yeah.
Yep, make sure you're subscribing, you're liking, hey, comment, and catch it all on the rewind every week, every day.
Every day. Thank you guys. See you next time.